Good afternoon, Facebook, Roku, and every other recording broadcast area in the world. This is your girl, Teresa B, coming to you live and direct from Amplified Exposure Live. And today I have my wonderful guest. Her name is Cassandra Skinner. She's a philanthropist. She's a poet. She's everything, y'all. So she came on today, not just because she's just dope like that, but she came on today because she likes me. So for those of you that are out there in La La Land, TV Land, Roku Land, listen up. We got 30 minutes of some good stuff. Hello, Miss Cassandra. How are you?
I'm so fabulous. I can't stand myself.
I am glad that you're so fabulous. Welcome to my show. We have talked on the phone, chatted a couple of times, and I've gotten to know more about you. And you are definitely a phenomenal woman. So I appreciate you for honoring my platform today. But let's get started. So I met you through a mutual friend. I'm not gonna say his name because he know he the bomb diggity out there too.
He is. He really is.
But he told me about you and some of the things that you have accomplished as being an activist and philanthropist, and just doing a lot of great things in the community with poetry, working with children, and so forth and so on. So we're going to break each category down for our audience. How about that?
Okay,
cool. So start off with the philanthropy part. Tell us about that.
I think I was born and bred for philanthropy. In college, I went to Cal State Fullerton, and I was taking journalism. And my professor came to me and told me, you know what, you really need to take my grant writing and estate planning endowments course. And I was like, no, it's certified. I need my credits. And so he was like, I think you'd be really good for it. And he went to our dean and actually got me into the course where I would be able to assume my credits and my certification. And in doing that, my internship with United Way. And it was the best work I've ever done in my life. As first two, and second being when I worked with SBP, which is AmeriCorps, rebuilding houses for those who were, traumatically hampered through Harvey. And it's just the whole give back thing is the happiest I am. It's not, the corporate America doesn't really give you that feel. And if I did work in corporate America, it would definitely have to be in that realm.
Right. And so how many years have you been working on that?
Since I was 19, and I won't tell my age, but 50 is the new 30. I'll say that.
Praise Jesus.
All day, every day.
Okay, I know all about that. Yes. So, as an activist, how has that been working for you?
It rolls right into the same process with my philanthropy. For me, everybody knows I say if it's not about change, it's not about me. So I'm really and truly about change. All the negative connotations we have going out there, we have enough of those. So I just figure, if you're going to do something positive. And activism is a great way of doing that. You need to be, and activism is in every form or facet. It could be, I'm definitely an activist for children. Me being a child, I had a wonderful childhood with my grandparents. My grandparents raised me. And I did not have my mom. I did not have my dad. And just knowing that default because of it and all the different things that life can put into you that really has nothing to do with you. I'm an activist to just keep everything positive, fulfill them. These new kids come wired differently than we did. They're smarter, they're quicker, they're just more in tune with life. And I just believe that they're all individual people. And that's how I raised my kids. And when I look at them today, off in their own little worlds and growing and flourishing, I know I did a good job. And I just implore people to get to know their children. I go to court with kids that are, in foster care. I work with World Youth Foundation, which is an amazing, amazing group of people. And it's 100, I say this, 100% volunteer.
Wow.
And it is amazing work because I've seen the changes. When I see this little boy, his name was Joshua Solis. He was in my photography and film class, and he was so hyper and so all over the place. I was like, you're going to stay with me. He's like, I'm going to stay with you, Miss Cassandra. I'm like, yeah. Well, about 3 years ago, I got to see him, and he was a totally different person. He was receiving an award, and he was sitting there, and I just watched him, and I was like, wow. And he turned around, he's like, Miss Cassandra. I'm like, Joshua. And we're hugging, but to see the difference and the change in their lives and who they are, that's why I do it.
Awesome. Yeah, I'm into education myself. So, and I work with children with learning disabilities. Um, I've done a variation of learning disabilities to severe and profound, but to see the growth from the
Yes.
time that you've touched them all the way to the time that you're finished with them, it's amazing how much they grow when they have support.
It is. And
So,
disabilities, that's another big thing for me. I work with the Night of Superstars. I've worked with them before, and I worked with We See Abilities before. And Miss Haley Kiefer, she was Mrs. Houston International. She created Macy's Miracles simply because these are children with autism. And it is such an amazing thing to hear and see a kid. A Night of Superstars really kind of, they don't get the accolades that our kids get in schools, all those programs where they get awards. So they do this whole red carpet night for them. And they bring celebrities from all over, and they give them a day of beauty and fun. And we walk them down the red carpet. But these kids are entrepreneurs. So
mm,
yeah, it's a great thing. We have a kid that was quadriplegic. They told the parents never will be able to do anything. He'll be in this wheelchair forever, but he could still move his right hand. And what he did was his therapy was picking up paper and placing it somewhere else. So he
mhm.
decided to place it in the shredder and got in his, he was in his wheelchair, and he went to all his neighbors' houses, and that is his business. He shreds all of those unwanted documents that you have sitting around.
Mhm.
That's his
Mhm.
business. So yeah, I'm gonna. You can't say you're having a bad day. You can't say you can't do something when you're walking around and dealing with children like that.
Right, right, right. It makes you appreciate life even the more.
Hmm.
Right. Wow. Well, thank you for your work because we need more people like you.
The world needs people to just guide these kids. They are they are fighters. They are advocates in their own right. They are phenomenal. And if you just get to know your kid, know who they are, and then teach them who they are to be a better person, you'll see a difference.
Right. Absolutely. Yes, I agree. So let's talk about some of your poetry. So I
First.
have written down that you were part of the National Poetry Society. Is that
Yeah,
correct?
I am a part of the National Poetry Society. In the sixth grade, I got my first All American Academic Scholarship in visual and poetic writing. And I've been writing since I was like 8, I think. That was my first poem. My grandmother still has it. It's called Little Tree.
Okay.
A way of filtering life, a way of really getting out some of the things you don't think you can say. I call it my mirror because
Mhm.
I'm able to really kind of give a piece of my life and others in my poetry and let people know exactly what it should be, what it isn't, what, I, in poetry, we have 2 minutes, 45 seconds. And we call that, we always say 2 minutes, 45. 2:45. And they're like, what's that? And we're like, you got 2 minutes, 45 seconds to take the air out of the room and create your own space and make everyone feel what you feel through poetry. That's hard
Yeah.
because we have an attention span of what, a minute and a half, maybe, but
Some of
we
us
are able
30
to do it.
seconds.
And so I represented the city of Houston at the National Poetry Slam with our slam team, the H-Town Houston Slam team, 3 times. I've also coached, and I continue to do poetry in schools with citizens in schools to really kind of bring out the element for kids.
Awesome. Awesome. And so how long have you been doing? You said since sixth grade, or was that when
Yeah,
you when
I
you
was 8 years old. Yes, I started writing my own speeches when I was about 12 because I was always the speaker in school, and I've just been speaking all my life. It's if you speak and people listen, take that platform and use it and do something good with.
right, right. It kind of went out on your last sentence. Take something good and you with me? Your volume went out. Can you hear me? I can't hear you. Can you hear me? There she is.
Yes.
Okay. So as early as 8 years old,
Hmm.
you have this poet. What are the adults saying around you? Like,
Um, I was blessed to have the grandparents I had. My grandmother is an advocate for me because she always felt like, and I really truly believe this. I just lost her last October. And I always say I lost my best friend. And it's because she paid attention to what I did. You know, I was an odd kid. I went to school. I came in the house. She was extremely protective. But more than that, she kept me in the Bible. She kept me in the Word. I literally had to write out a paragraph out of the newspaper to ensure that my handwriting was perfect. And there's just little things. It talked a lot about a lot of different things. So it was just little things like that. And in the church, they always had a welcome speech or the Easter speech or this, that, and the other. And I was the go-to girl somehow out of the blue. And I just started. One time she said, "You have an Easter speech." And so she wrote Easter on a long piece of paper and put it on my wall. Well, I put dots in between each of the letters and started writing what each letter meant. And then she said, "Oh, you're writing your speech. Okay, well, you can finish it." So therein lies the challenge. And I did it.
wow, wow, awesome. I love your talents. So tell me about so you do more than just poetry and philanthropy and activists. Like
Yes.
you were actually nominated in 2016 for a Grammy.
Oh, wow, that is funny. Yes, I was. A good friend. He is a good friend. I didn't realize, when you do great things, which is really what you're supposed to do in the world, you don't realize how you impacted someone's life. And I had a gentleman, I wrote a concierge program for a property, a luxury property. And this young guy came in and he worked, but he always came in and he was disheveled and everybody's chatting about him. So one night I asked him, I was like, I'm going to say his name, Josh Vervin. Look him up
Mhm.
because he's amazing. Josh, I said, "What's going on with you?" And he told me he'd come down here and told me the incidents that happened. And so I went to our property manager and I was like, "Look, he got in this program. Let's get him in a place. What can we do?" So we got him in a place. And I'd just gone through a separation. So I had all this furniture. And so I said, "Go in, get what you want." Well, fast forward 5 years later, he comes to me and he goes, "Hey, say hello." And I'm like, "Hello?" He's in Steven Spielberg's office. And he is a 9-time Grammy nominated writer for music. The last Tron and the last Batman, all that music in the background was his. And so he said, because of what I did for him, that was the first year that he got nominated for a Grammy and he wanted to give back and he loved my poetry. And so we created an album.
Wow.
Yeah, that's called paying it forward. So just everybody be good to each other. It's just the natural way that things should go because you just never know. Like they get, what do they say? You may be entertaining an angel. You don't know where your opportunities come from.
Absolutely. And I am a living testament to that.
Let me tell you, that's my connection ability. The thing that I talk about most when it comes down to business is connecting people, and some people call it networking. They call me the connector, and I just have a knack of meeting you. I've met 3 other people. I met somebody 2 years ago. I met somebody yesterday. I met somebody 6 months ago. But then I meet you and I go, something clicks inside of me and goes, and all the dots and the stars align. And I connect all of you together. But when I do that, I give you a format and a plan of why and how this is going to benefit and bring and elevate you guys. And it is such an amazing thing.
Yes, yes. And we can't tell our little secrets, but our connection was truly divine
Mhm.
because of where we came from, who
Yes.
connected us, and what we're doing to push it forward for our future.
Yes.
So blessing to have met you. This is awesome.
You
All
too.
right. So with the Grammy, did you actually win or were you just
No,
neat? Okay.
no. Grammys is a process, and it's something that I'm teaching some of the artists out here because I have my hands in everything.
Mhm.
Um,
Mhm.
I had a show called Unscripted, and it was every Wednesday night. So the artists would come out, and I would have A&Rs and producers and different people that I know. You know how we know. And I
Mhm.
would have them come out. They'd be sitting in the crowd, shorts. They wouldn't even know they're there. But during the performance, we always give a critique because I'm a really amazing person. And I'm going to say Ricky Anderson, who is out there and he's in the biz. He said something to me on the phone one day. He said, everybody is 2 seconds away from stardom, but it's what 2 seconds they can fix to make it that way. And a lot of us get stuck in our friends giving us accolades and everything. But the real is there's something that you can alter or fix. So with that being said, when you know, dabble in the entertainment industry, it just gives you that niche into opening up and branching out and allowing the artist to flourish and, you know, just grow. And it's an amazing, amazing, amazing thing.
Yeah. So can you tell us how many artists have you worked with over the years? Do you have a count by any chance?
No, that would be unheard of. Um, that would really be unheard of. I've reached in touch and not just worked with them, but collaborated with them. I think at the end of the day, when I look at my life, God already had this in my plan, but I had no idea. I just
Okay.
had no idea. And he's always placed me. And I say place because y'all have to realize it's a placement. If you're one of his chosen, he just places you in here and has people call you here and he puts a word out. And just if you remain consistent and unapologetically you and keep it like for real, which is why my show was called Unscripted. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
It works for you. It really works for you. So yeah, artists all over the plains. I don't even know what to say.
Yeah, amen to that. Because at one time I thought I was going to change how I did things, and then I was told, no, just keep doing it as you are. So
Yes.
blessings. All right. Uh NIMBY, NIMBY, is that also part of Unscripted?
No, it isn't, but it kind of is and it kind of isn't. I met through Stevie Ray, the boxer, Stevie Ray and Booker T, the
Uh-huh.
wrestlers. Stevie
Mm-hmm.
Ray became a really great friend of mine. He was introduced to me by someone. And so Stevie calls me one day. He's got, like, I got this girl that's coming here to Houston. She's from New York. Need you to help me out. So I was like, okay. And I was like, what does she need? He goes, just, you know, take her around the city, get her, you know, with the right people, because I know you can do that. And so I took her on, and her name is Jacqueline Aludo. So NIMBY stands for Not in My Backyard. And it is her platform. She is, I call myself an activist. Next to her, I cower because she is an activist among them all for domestic violence, for homelessness, for different things. And she's in the Library of Congress. She's been noted several times, but I had the honor to work with her on several different projects. And in fact, we were working on one for myself where we want to take Unscripted to the TV and really open up and branch out, not like all the other shows you see, turn the chair around. I want to, you know, sign you on. And it's very, very different because it really deals with a day in a life and an artist and the struggle, because it is real. If you're a real artist, it's a struggle.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah, it is. Yeah.
so that's what we were working on. But NIMBY, Not in My Backyard. And that is her belief as an activist. Just whatever is not right, whatever she sees that's unjust, she doesn't want to see it in her backyard. And so I've had the pleasure of being with her and working alongside of her.
Awesome. Awesome. And how long have you worked together?
It's going, I want to say I've known her for about 5 years now. Yeah, and she's phenomenal. She's, in fact, I looked on the news the other day and I'm like, there she is. And she's involved with the trafficking, you know, because it's a lot, it's a big deal now. And she was involved with the trafficking and setting up sting operations. So she's not just an activist that talks about it. She gets in and she does this firsthand.
Okay. So you're in the arts, you're in the poetry, you're in the helping with children. Are you
Mhm.
doing anything that is dealing with politics?
Again, life has taught me I should be in certain realms. High school,
Mhm.
American Legion nominates me to go to Girl State, and I'm like, what is Girl State? Wish they had it out here. Don't know if they do, but if you don't know and you have a kid that is just on it, find out because they should go. Girl State takes you on a bus, drops you off at a campus, and you get dropped off at a dorm. That dorm is your state. Each hallway is a city, and you run for office. And so, yes, I had the opportunity. I ran for mayor, and then they were like, "You need to run for president." They vote for president, so somebody made a Cassandra for president sticker, and it took like wildfire. So I ran for president. I wound up being vice president and got to go to Girls Nation. Um, Politically, I'm very, very I travel on both sides of the coin because I don't believe that any one person is right. I don't believe that there's a side that you can take. It's the side of the people.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and I'm really, really radical about that. I say things that people don't like, and I don't care because it's the truth. And when you deal with the truth, because politics is a big lie, we know this, right? And
Right.
a lot of it is lies. A lot of it is hopes and dreams that have been turned into something distorted, for other people's, whims. So when I look at it like that, I just want to make sure that I'm for what really is believable and the truth, and that's what I stick to. So yeah, I am a bit political. I deal with a lot of people that are out there right now that are sitting in the city council and different things like that. But it's what you have to do because the change starts at those little spaces. It doesn't start when you go vote for the president. It starts when
Right.
you vote for your city council and you vote for those members that are actually listening to what you want. So you got to be careful who you put in there.
Exactly. And didn't you do something with radio at one time?
I've only dabbled in it. I have not been on the radio. That is my wish. That is my hope, and that is my dream. I would love to have a radio show. Um, I want to do something along the lines of like Dear Abby. You remember that in the New York
Yeah.
Post? We don't
Yeah.
have that anymore. And
No.
everybody in the world wrote to Dear Abby and got really great feedback. And I would love to have something like that because there's so many people, especially in the wake of COVID, that really need help. They have questions they can't ask their family and friends because everybody has an opinion and they look at them a certain way. I would love to have an open forum where people can have that free plane to just ask the question, go back and forth, get that answer, and move on in their lives and be able to be who they want to be.
Yes, yes. So I always ask this question since the pandemic has started. What is your take on COVID?
Okay, you ask the hard questions.
What do you think about
Okay,
the
do you want me to be
vaccine?
unapologetically me or you want me to give you that answer?
No, I want you to be unapologetically you.
Okay, so I study everything. I
Mhm.
was never allowed to say I don't know growing up. It was
Okay.
always give me a second. I'll get right back to you. And that was the stand. If I said I don't know, like literally I'm standing in the corner. So COVID, I did a lot of research and I researched to know, do you know that we have a czar that actually has a conversation with everyone from around the world in certain nations about the different diseases and different things that are almost quaking to be something that could hamper the whole world. Did you know that?
Mhm.
It's a female. She's big. She does that. So this has been on the radar for years and years and years and years and years. It's in our air. Yes, it is because of birds and animals and different things like that. But it has been on the brink of being what it is. And when you allow people to play with things, but they don't have cures for them before they play with them, it's
Mhm.
it's bad. And when they play with them because maybe they want to do that, because this could be something that could take out a nation. We all know about chemical warfare,
Right.
and you play with it, but it affects the whole nation. And now everybody's scammering. It's just it's sad. And there's so many things that are going on with that COVID. There's so many people that are having way more mental issues, and I mean real mental issues, like they've just snapped somewhere. That is COVID. Skin issues, COVID. I mean, there's so much that they didn't tell us that they should have told us and they still haven't informed us about. But do your research. That's all I gotta say. Do your research, do your research, do your research, do your research. The boosters, do your research. Everybody just if you do it and you read and you understand, you'll know what to do for yourself. And that's all I can say.
Right. Right. Well, I like the unapologetically you.
And that was the mild version of what I wanted to say. It
I
really
like
was.
it. I like it. So let me see what else we have here. So, with you being the connector to all of these different people and different events, and does it sometimes get a little, does it wear you down? Because I'm sure you do like a lot of traveling and you're away from your family.
I have these wonderful little people in my life that are my grandkids. One of them tried to come in here and I was like, back out, back out. But no, because I had to make a pact with my daughter. She was like, I want to be the first one to take them on a plane. Sorry, it'll be me. Because when I leave, my grandson will literally, the first time I left him, he literally stopped talking to me. The FaceTime thing, he was like, I'm over it. Where are you? And why aren't you here? And so what I had to do was when I leave, because I'll leave for like a month or two at a time sometimes, I fly them out for a weekend. So now they go, Grandma's leaving. When are we going to go see her? And we make it an all fire weekend, just kind of keep them balanced. And plus, I believe in homeschooling. Although they do go to, regular school, those trips become trips of learning. I take them to the museums. I take them out. We do really different things. And my daughter is such an amazing mom. She's always doing something new and different with them. And she goes, well, you did it with us. And I'm like, oh yeah, I did that, didn't I? But yeah, traveling, that's the part I love. When I'm home too long, I'm like, okay, now I'm bored and now I need something to do. So that's when my art studio comes into play and I'm in there painting or writing or something.
Oh, I didn't know you could paint as well.
The feather on the wall?
Uh-huh.
That's mine.
Wow. No, you didn't tell me that part.
Yes, I do visual and written. That's what I've got my scholarships in and everything.
Wow. Nice. So is there any poem that you have written throughout your lifetime that you can remember that you could recite to us?
Ooh, 1 second.
Okay. We would love to hear some of it.
Not to bring anyone, I was a single mom coming up with my son and my daughter, but my son, his name is Ninth. I'm gonna put this out there. PSA. Ninth Sage, the number 9, THSAGE. Ninth Sage. He is a SoundCloud DJ. He's at the top of his game. He's amazing. Check it out. His mixes are all that. Okay. But I'm looking at this kid at like 16 and I'm just going, God, thank you. Because he never, and not too many parents can really say, I mean, never gave me a day of trouble. And he got straight A's. I didn't have to beg him to study. He was a football star. He came here that way. He was a wonderful baby. Like for a single mom, and that being my first kid, I was happy. So when my daughter came along and I started having these, little girls are different, I popped them upside his head one day. And he's like, Mom, I was like, you prepared me for none of this. What do I do with this? And it was funny because he's like, what? Okay, because I was a good kid. But I was just watching him on his 16th birthday. And I just couldn't understand how you would not be there for a child that's so amazing. And so I wrote a poem called Missed. Okay. So it says, wait a minute, let me think. They say you can't miss something that you never had, but I know that he misses you. And even though you never allowed him to know who you are, I know that he loves you. He probably sees you as some kind of hero in his dreams, and I allow him to believe that you are. I tell him that you're noble. I tell him that he gets his good looks from you. And I watch him stare in the mirror, trying to mirror you with no reflection. To make him feel whole, I tell him fables of the kind of man I wish you had been, trying to fill the holes left by you. And I see the sun set in his eyes when my stories are over, because they are the only parts of you he has to hold on to. He wonders what I or he did to make you walk away, sometimes blaming me for your absence, and I bear it. Every harsh word a bad mood, because I don't have the explanations he deserves. But when he doubts his purpose, it's because of you. That's it. That's all I can give you.
Wow.
Thank you.
Give little finger snaps. Hey, that was beautiful.
I didn't even full out perform it, but that is a pivotal piece that I'd never make it through without crying. Because there's a part where it says, how is he so deserving of your turn back, being born to you with his only mistake, flesh of your flesh. And when I think of that, he's mine too. And I feel what he feels. And he's still amazing today. And now he's a father. And at the end of the poem, it says, I know he too will be a father one day, and he will teach his son and daughter what being a man is truly about. And although you didn't help paint the landscape of who he has become, you did give him a shining example of what not to be missed. And my son is the best dad ever. His little girl loves daddy. And I'm like, you go, boy. You did that.
Wow. Awesome. I just love you, Miss Cassandra.
I love you. Thank you so much for being who you are and for being obedient and following what you're supposed to be doing, because you're amazing.
Oh, thank you. God bless. So tell us what's coming up next for you.
Oh. Can everybody see this? Soul Purpose.
Put up a little bit more. A little bit. There you go.
sole purpose, the play.
Mm-hmm.
This is why I love my job. This play is absolutely phenomenal. We'll be traveling around the world. It starts here in Houston, January 28th and 29th. And it is going to be amazing. We have Kathy Taylor in the play. I don't know if you know her. She's an amazing gospel songstress. The cast is amazing. We had a meet and greet where we met the cast and they got to meet us. And I've never seen the Spirit move. One song out of the play. There's 18 songs in the play. I'm going to just over exaggerating, but there's 18 songs in the play. And I'm telling you that it was absolutely amazing to be in that room with them and listen to what was going on. And I was so moved. I wrote a piece. I hadn't written since my grandmother passed. So that's been almost a year. So I wrote a piece because of the energy in that room, and it's going to be on the soundtrack.
Nice.
Close the door now. Sorry, little people. Would you like to meet them? Because they want to meet you guys.
Yes, tell them to come on. Tell them to come on.
Come here. Come here, Faith. Come here.
Oh my God,
Say hello. Say hi.
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 Say hi.
Hi.
Go tell mommy to fix it for you. Go ahead. Thank you.
That's it.
Goodbye.
That's it.
Thank you. Bye. Yeah, so those are my people and they keep me busy.
Love the babies.
They keep me very busy. They are funny. I'm sorry. I don't know what's going on with his mom, but I think she must be sleeping. Goodbye. Here, go. Bye. Go.
So tell us, how can we reach you after today? If somebody wanted to book you for your play or some of your poetry,
always hit me up on my Facebook. And I had one of those nights where I was doing what I needed to do, and I was setting up my new Facebook because someone was wanting to be on my Facebook, and the page was full. You know, that 5,000 max thing.
Yeah.
So I had to set up a page. So you go to TRINTY Skinnert, SKINNERT. So just that, and you can hit me up on Facebook. I always answer everyone. If it's for like corporate needs, like different things you may need with your nonprofit, I always help out with that. It's one of my biggest treasures that I love to do. If it's advocacy, if it's a show that you need pitched, whatever it is, because I pretty much do the go-to girl thing. Hit me up. Let me know.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Miss Skinner, for coming on my show today. I wish you the best in all your future endeavors, and may God bless you and your family.
You too, love. Thank you so much.
All right, you take care. Have a good evening.
All right, you too.
All right, bye.
Bye.